About a month ago, State Senator Matt Murphy from Palatine announced that he was resigning his seat to take a job in the private sector. That left a vacancy. That vacancy was filled yesterday.
Officially, right?
Officially filled yesterday by Tom Rooney, who is the mayor of Rolling Meadows, also a teacher, history teacher in the Leiden School District. And we're pleased to have State Senator Tom Rooney join us now. Tom, thanks for being with us. Appreciate it.
Good morning, Dan. Good morning, Amy. Just for the record, I'm 5'6" and 135, and I have no idea what that makes my BMI. So.
All right. Well, get back to us on the BMI. 5'6", 135. Man, have a sandwich. Gosh.
Hey, I got a shirt that says "Not as lean, not as mean, but still Marine, brother." So.
Okay. So there you go. So let's talk a little bit about your background. For those who don't know, I mentioned you're mayor of Rolling Meadows, and a teacher, but you also served in the military.
Yes, sir. I did spend most of my time in the reserves, only about a year and a half on active duty, but my unit actually got activated for Desert Storm in 1991. We didn't go anywhere real, but I had to leave an 11-month-old baby with my wife when we were both in college and be gone for 3 months serving the country. And if you've never had to say goodbye to an 11-month-old baby who doesn't understand what's going on, holy smokes.
And I can't imagine what was like when you returned safely.
It was fantastic. My son and I still have a joke today about the little thing he did with his hands when he saw me for the first time, having not seen me in months. And it's still our kind of great to see you, buddy kind of gesture. So.
Well, now you are a history teacher in the Leiden School District, as I mentioned. Also, for those of you who thought that Tim Kaine was the only white man to ever learn the Spanish language, Tom Rooney, fluent in Spanish.
See?
Well, fluent might be a tad strong, but yeah, I actually learned Spanish here as a teacher at Leiden because I was tired of having to have a translator call home. Some of the best conversations you have with parents are when you call just to say the kid's been tardy 3 times, and then you just get to be talking, and I couldn't do that. So I actually sat in a class with kids on my free period for 3 years in a row. And, Amy, I'm going to tease you just a little bit. If you ever need a tutor, I can help you.
Yeah, that's right. She does.
You didn't have it quite right earlier. So.
Oh, wait,
Right.
What did I get wrong, Tom?
Well, when Dan said, no apoyo a Trump, you said, como se dice apoyo, and it really should have been something like, que significa apoyo?
Oh,
yeah. You kind of said, how do you say apoyo?
I should only you say that if it's in English. So like, como se dice, how do you say friend?
I'll tell you
Spanish?
what,
Amigo.
Amy is going to stay after class today for additional instruction on the Spanish language, Tom.
Yeah, I need help. But I admire you for doing that. That is amazing. I mean, who does stuff like that? It's real men.
This is
well. Let me tell you. The kids thought it was absolutely insane that a teacher was sitting in their class with them on a regular basis, and I took the tests and did the homework and everything. So
and the percentage of Latino students at Leiden. I mean, for those who don't know, not familiar with the district in West Central Cook County, I mean, it's a very high percentage.
I think we're around 60%, 2/3. Yes, sir.
Yeah, so that's significant. Now, one of the other things that's interesting about Tom's tenure as a teacher, and I've known Tom for a while now, so I'm familiar with his personal story to some extent, and it's a fascinating one. One of the other things is the posture that you took, Tom, as it pertains to pension and tenure. Explain.
Well, quite frankly, when they offered me tenure as a second-year teacher, I said thank you, and I actually asked the principal, now my question is, can I still teach here if I don't have it? And he was kind of confused, and he said, but we just told you do have it. And I said, yes, sir, but with all due respect, I don't want it. And he said to me, why in the world not? And I said, well, I'm kind of a political guy. To me, it's like the politicians who are talking term limits when they're in their 20th year. I don't believe in tenure. I don't think it's a good idea, and I'd rather not have it. And They actually had to do research on whether you could do that or not because nobody had ever asked the question. And as it turns out, I couldn't refuse it, so I'm stuck with it. But
I'm stuck with tenure. Is there any teacher in the Western world that has ever uttered the phrase, other than Tom Rooney, "I'm stuck with tenure"? This is
well, probably not. But Dan, you know, I walk my talk. So
and also on that score, opting out of the teachers union, and the pension benefits as well.
Well, there's no way on the pension benefits, so I've already done something for myself to show that I'm a Republican and I save for my own retirement. But yes, sir, I'm not a guy who sticks my finger in the union's eye here. I actually have a pretty good relationship with them, but they know me here, and they know it really is a matter of principle for me. So quite frankly, they're pretty nice to me about it.
So how can you do both, be a state senator and be a teacher? Because sometimes don't you have to be in Springfield? You can't be two places at once.
Take the kids.
That's correct. And we haven't worked out exactly how it's going to look yet, but we actually have a model to work from. Gene Hoffman, who I worked for in the Illinois House Minority Leadership Office for 2 months this summer, I was between freshman and sophomore year at college. He was a history teacher at Fenton High School, which is just like one school over from me. And they had an arrangement where he could still teach and not just be a representative, but be an assistant minority leader. And so it is possible as long as everybody's willing to work together. And I'm telling you, I work in the best district in the area. They've said, "Hey, let's see if we can work this out," and it's unbelievable.
Are you going to opt out of the pension benefits that are provided for state legislators?
Absolutely guaranteed, because I do have control over that. A buddy of mine who has been the most stand-up guy in this whole process, Tom Morrison, he did it when he joined, and so we know it's possible. I am absolutely not signing up for any of that stuff.
Also, you mentioned term limits before. You're a proponent of term limits, but this is another instance where you've walked the walk as mayor of Rolling Meadows.
I believe so, yeah. In Rolling Meadows, we're a logical city, so we already have term limits. And it's 2 terms on the mayor and 3 terms for aldermen. And when I ran, I said the local level should only be 8 years, so I'm only going to serve 2 terms. When I ran for my second term, my campaign slogan on my flyer was a second and final term. And as I was coming to the end of that term, I like Rolling Meadows, and Rolling Meadows likes me. Everybody kept saying, "Oh, come on, you're really going to run for a third term, right?" And I kept saying, "No, I'm not." And as it got closer, they kept saying, No, really, you're going to run, right?" And I said, "No, I'm not." And I term limited myself after 2 terms. I knew I was going to run for mayor in 2 years, and quite frankly, the position I was in, I could have run for mayor without having to give up my alderman seat. I could have appointed my replacement if I won, and I would have been on the 6-month cycle to be the mayor pro tem during the whole election cycle. And as soon as I caught myself thinking that way, I went, "Oh my God, politics is the dark side of the force. It will suck you in if you're not careful. I need to step down now." And I did. And 2 years later, I came back and I won with 79% of the vote. So.
Wow. What is something that you're going to focus on as a state senator?
Well, everybody describes me as a history teacher, but my special love that I teach here at Leiden is economics. And so everything to do with the financial mess that we're in, everything to do with the screwed up incentive systems that we have in our state system, everything that touches on economics, I'm telling you, anybody in Rolling Meadows can tell you right now, I'm almost annoying with how often I beat the economic drum. Some would even say not just almost. And that economic drum is coming down to Springfield because economics took over the way I think when I started teaching it.
And that's why it's important you continue teaching, because I know that you also teach teachers at conferences and provide instruction on economics as well as history.
Yes, sir. Over the summer, a group called the Foundation for Teaching Economics, which is one of the most amazing organizations ever, they fly me around, and we call it teaching teachers how to teach economics. And we're spreading the economic word everywhere we go.
Let's talk about doing God's work. All right, he is Tom Rooney.
He's amazing. You're a superhero. That's what you are.
Honestly, this is he's going to be a real good one. So for those who have no hope with some of our political leadership in Springfield, I suggest you give Tom Rooney a look, even if you don't live in his Northwest Suburban District. Tom Rooney, Mayor of Rolling Meadows, newly appointed state senator. And Tom, I'm sorry.
Thank you. And right before you let me go, Dan, you know I am not blowing sunshine up your butt when you guys get me to work every morning. I am a loyal listener of this show. I have call-ins to prove it, and I can't tell you how happy I am. This is the first time the show called me, brother.
All right.
All right, Tom, thanks for joining us, and congratulations on the appointment.
Thanks for the time. I really appreciate it.
And we'll send him a Dan and Amy mug. And he joined us on our Turnkey.pro answer line.